Hi, this is Stephanie, returning for part 3 of my video tutorial on how to create a MERN stock login application. So in the last video, we set up Webpack, Babel, and NodeMon. So now we're going to start setting up our front-end views using React. And as I mentioned before, React.js is a framework, and it's just for the view portion of the application. And we have already installed it in the previous video. So in your package.json, it should say React and React DOM and React Hotloader. So the first thing you want to do is in your main folder, create a template file. And basically when the server receives a request to the root URL, the HTML template will be rendered in the browser. And we're going to create a div element that's going to contain all our React components. So we'll call this index.js. So export default. And you can make your title whatever you want. I'm just going to call mine MERN login app. And if you notice, if you ever have done HTML before, you probably see what's going on here. So even though this is a JavaScript file, we're putting HTML, and that is what JSX is, and that's what Babel transpiles into JavaScript, so the browser can render it. So this is the root div. So you're going to create a div, and the ID is going to be root. And this is what will contain our React components. And in the last video, I mentioned when Webpack bundles your code, there's going to be a directory that's created called dist, and it's going to create a bundle.js file. That's going to be the JavaScript file that this template's going to read from. So after this is done, you're going to create a folder called client, and this is where the client side code is going to go. And we're going to add 2 React files. One is going to be called main.js, And the other one is going to be called hello world.js. So this is what we're going to render onto the browser to make sure everything's working. So first thing you have to do in a component is import React. Import React from then import render from React and then import, you have to import your component. So we didn't make the hello world component yet, but after you make it, you have to import it. World. So we're just going to say render. So React, in order to render it, you use a self-closing tag with the component's name. So this will render that onto the browser. And document. And it's going to render it into the root div. Oops, I put this in the wrong file. This is in Hello World one. Here. All right, so now this is going to be like the main component that would contain all the other components, and then Hello World is just going to contain basically what you want to display in the browser, or a section of what you want displayed in the browser. So import React. And we're also going to import component. So a component is like a class. So class hello world. And that's how you create a component. And it has to extend component. And so if we didn't put this component here, we would do react.component. So then the first thing you have to do is always render, parentheses, and then return. And what you want it to return. So a component can only have one parent div. So you can do div like this and put your content here. But it wouldn't be able to do this. So this wouldn't work. You can only have one parent. And then, let's see, I have to, this isn't supposed to be a bracket, it's supposed to be parentheses. And then after you have your div set up in your component, you have to export it in order for it to be used in another file. So export default hot marginal. So that's our component. And in order for it to show up in the browser, we have to set up our server. So that's what I'll do in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.